Since the 1970s, black and minority ethnic women have been twice as likely as white women to be unemployed.
The problem is not getting any better. If anything, it's getting worse during the recession.
It's really important that we make sure that we look at what's happening to these black women and make sure that the unemployment levels don't rise even higher.
I got made redundant from my job in a local authority earlier this year.
The government have cut so much and cut so quickly, you can't find your feet.
You try to apply for a job, you send off CVs, you don't get responses, you're told that if you don't get a response within 2 weeks then you're unsuccessful. So it becomes daunting, it's a horrible feeling. Especially with black.
I've been unemployed since I had my first daughter, Eloise. I had an interview on the phone, had to go down in person. My name's Louise James, sounds quite English, they're expecting probably a blue-eyed, blonde-haired woman there. When I got there, the woman called my name, there was me and a white person sitting down. She looked directly at the white girl and said, Louise James. When I said to her, no, I'm here actually, she just kind of looked at me and her face dropped. And then from there, the interview was very cold, very distant. And obviously I never got the job from it.
Discrimination is sometimes it's subtle, it's not always there obviously and in your face, but you know when you're being treated a certain way.
68% of Pakistani and Bangladeshi women are inactive in the labour market, and this is before the recession hit. And we know from previous recessions that ethnic minorities have high levels of inactivity once the recession actually hits.
I know somebody who's really, really academically bright. She got a first-class degree from the University of Manchester. She's been applying for jobs for years and years and years. She wears the hijab, but she feels like that hijab is a barrier. When she goes for a job, like she'll always pass the application stage because obviously her CV is very impressive, but she hasn't been able to secure a job.
If there was more media exposure about where to get the help and how to get the help, it would be easier.
You get all these obstacles, either you don't have the qualification or you are overqualified, and it really made me feel like I'm getting confused.
A lot of people are not getting enough support off Job Centre.
My husband went into the Job Centre, they told him to take a ticket and go onto the computers. My husband doesn't know nothing about computers. So he had to come home and collect me to get onto the computer. There should be support there for them, for people who can't speak English, who doesn't know nothing about computers, to help them, to guide them.
If there are no policy interventions, then we anticipate that the high level of inactivity amongst Pakistani and Bangladeshi women will just continue. And that is not the society that we want in the UK. That is not an inclusive society, it's not making the best of our young people, and it makes a mockery of our education system. What is the point in going to university and spending high amounts of money, such as £9,000 a year, if you cannot get a job at the end of it and you can't give back to society?
Well, I wrote a report for the government in 2008 saying if you do nothing, there will be riots in your inner cities in a few years' time. They did nothing. They're still not doing anything. I think the risk of riots hasn't gone away.
It's highly important to focus on minority groups because we know that they will be suffering disproportionately in the recession.